I mean, the comments after the game from Damien were completely unnecessary and unwarranted. They just weren't correct. And we didn't play an extra defender. Richmond bring a player up around the ball. They've been doing it for a long time. We just held our 6 defenders in place. If Damien didn't want to do that, he could have brought his forward back in and just played 6, 6 and 6, and the issue would have been done.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Vader for Game, back with another video. And today, well, the other day after the Swans and Richmond match finished, the Richmond coach complained on the Swans and how we played, and it was just really disgusting, and I think everyone knows he's wrong. Johnny Lomai did prove a point in his conference after he said that. So yeah, I'm going to be showing all the footage on that today. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So we'll see what the Richmond coach had to say, then we'll talk about it and move on to the Swans coach. So let's show the Richmond coach.
It was hard to watch, it was hard to play, it was just incredibly frustrating, and yeah, unfortunately it's sometimes how games pan out. You know, you have a lot of players in one D50, they can't get out and we can't score. So, you know, I think we had 50 odd inside 50s for, 4 or 5 goals, which is farcical in nature, really. Horrible game of football. It was, you know, the ball was played now half for the majority. I think it was 29 forward half turnovers to 9. So it was down there for the vast majority of the game. And, you know, a player that's running around, he's all good players. But, you know, I didn't think we were much chance of scoring, but they were no chance of scoring. I think they got 2 goals from 50-metre penalties, but outside of that, they kicked 1 goal for the game. It's like, you know, we set up the game to try and win it and not to lose. Oh, look, if games are like this tonight, absolutely. Well, there's not much I can do. I'm sitting there, we're attacking, and we've got 75,000 people in our forward 50, so it's pretty hard. You know, once again, we're to figure out how to negate it. It's probably happened a couple of times this year, and you know, it's become a tactic in the AFL. Fold back mentality is really, you know, keeping sides in games at the moment, and it's creating probably the game that we got tonight. Yeah, it was good. They actually tried to win the game.
So yeah, he is completely wrong, and that's exactly why he apologised. He called John Lomai and apologised to him, but we'll talk about that later. So basically, just completely inaccurate. Like, we did not get any 50-metre penalty goals, and to be fair, we did miss a lot. We could have kicked more goals than them, and most of their behinds was rushed, and we kicked lots of points. We were inaccurate, which actually could have cost us. And if we had 12 forwards, I guarantee we would have won that game. Exactly what John Lomai said in the press conference. He just proved him wrong completely. Everything he said is basically wrong. The stats were right, exactly what he said, so fair enough, but you just shouldn't talk about other teams, especially after you won the game. Like, Richmond won the game. What do you have to talk about? You got the 4 points, accept it. But yeah, anyway, moving on, and we'll see what Johnny Lomai had to say.
Callum Mills jumping in his car now. I might get him to come over here and answer it. But, I mean, the comments after the game from Damien were completely unnecessary and unwarranted. They just weren't correct. And we didn't play an extra defender. Richmond bring a player up around the ball. They've been doing it for a long time. We just held our 6 defenders in place. If Damien didn't want to do that, he could have brought his forward back in and just played 6, 6 and 6, and the issue would have been done. I'm not sure it's my role to walk up to Damien's coach's box, knock on the door and say, what would you like us to do? So that's how it happened. Well, I thought that the coaches were really collegiate, and I was hoping that that'd still be the case. But we've got to be careful, I reckon, as an industry. We don't drop into this habit of potting other people and finger pointing. It's you know, it's a bit of a challenging time for all of us, and I just think we just need to take a deep breath and help each other through this. I mean, Damien called me straight after the game. He apologised for the comments, which was appreciated. But as I said to Damien, they're out there. Now you've got to have a press conference and talk about them. So from my angle, we did not go in to play an extra number behind the ball. And you can look at all the stoppages, and the majority of the times, we mightn't have got everyone right, but the majority of the time, that's what the plan was. I've been around the coaching industry for a long time, is that I try not to make comments on other teams. But we've just slipped into a bit of a habit of giving strong opinions on other teams, and it's just unnecessary. He just said he was frustrated. I said, okay, if you're frustrated, just bring your your forward back from up around the ball, which you normally play, and play 6 forwards in front of the ball. Done. But sometimes these things happen, and it's not always one team's fault. Probably 8 or 9 over 194 centimetres on our injured list. So we're going to try and hopefully get a couple back. Once again, it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And so we like to get a bit more structure ahead of the ball. We'd like to be able to do that, and hopefully we can. Today about Richmond, what they did, because it was clearly in a defensive aspect. But I don't make it my mission to coach or to comment on other clubs. I just can't understand it. I never have been able to understand it. I find it difficult enough to coach our own club. We've got enough on my plate. Look after our own players without giving advice to others, and just think it's unnecessary.
He is right. I also don't really like when coaches talk about other teams. It's just like, mind your own team, like worry about your own team and stop commenting on other teams, especially our Richmond. But Johnny Lomai proves multiple points throughout this conference on the Sydney Swans YouTube channel. It wasn't the press conference after the match, it was the one on YouTube. So yeah, basically just proved point after point on what he did wrong, and he did not want to do this conference, but unfortunately what the Tigers coach did is out there in public now, so he had to do it, and he did apologise to Johnny Lomai, but Johnny Lomai said, well, you can't do anything now because it's out there. So basically he proved the point. The Swans holded their 6 defenders in place, and he said something about what Richmond could have done about that situation. But yeah, so basically just unnecessary from the Richmond coach completely. Swans injuries did hurt us, and that's what he ended up talking about for the rest of the conference. If you want to look at that on the Swans YouTube channel, go ahead and watch it. All talks about the injuries and how bad they actually are. Probably the rest in the AFL, to be honest. But yeah, all the footage is there, but more footage on the AFL app and the Sydney Swans app. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye.